The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
Let us now explain the forces that drive Georgia's economic growth. The economy overall posted 10.6% of economic growth in 2021. In December, the estimated real domestic product growth rate was 9.6%. We followed up on the figures with Gogita Todradze, Executive Director at the National Statistics Office of Georgia. Thank you for being with us and taking our questions. We will be talking about the economic growth figures that Geostat has published recently. We have two-digit economic growth. What does this figure tell in the current context of the pandemic?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me and for having this opportunity. As you are aware, in December 2021, estimated real GDP growth rate amounted to 9.6%, and annual average real GDP growth rate is around 10.6% compared to the same period of previous year. So we have in 2021 two-digit economic growth, and when we are talking about drivers of Georgian economies today, first of all, I think we need to pay particular attention to the tendencies existing in external trade statistics. As you are aware, in 2021, total volume of export amounted around $4.2 billion, which is about 26% higher compared to the previous year, while domestic export exceeded $3 billion, which is 30% higher compared to the previous year. It is worth also to mention that total turnover of VAT taxpayers, which was used for calculation of economic growth rates, exceeded 11 billion 500 million Georgian lari, which is 31% higher compared to the previous year.
Mm-hmm. So we could say that trade and VAT turnover were the main drivers of this growth. Can we eliminate the base effect when we are talking about this two-digit economic growth?
Definitely, base effect is also relevant because, as you are aware, perhaps you may remember that in 2020, real GDP declined by 6.8%. That means in 2020, level of GDP was quite low.
Compared to 2019, we still have growth, right? So what does that mean? Can we say that the economy still maintains some kind of resilience towards this pandemic, and it is on the post-pandemic growth track?
Actually, compared to 2019, we have still economic growth, but this is around 3.1%. In this case, the main drivers, main contributors were manufacturing, financial intermediation, retail and wholesale trade, and information and communication sectors.
Since we mentioned the sectors, which sector is the weakest ring, so to say, in the economy right now?
Construction sector could be considered as a weak ring of Georgia's economic today. I mean, in December 2021.
What could be the reason for that? Can we identify the reasons behind that? Because this was the sector that was quite well supported by the government, by the state budget, through the subsidies, so that we didn't have this decline. But now we see that still construction sector proves to be the weak region.
So in this case, I can say that we have relatively low activities in 2021 compared to the 2020.
Can we say the reason behind that?
This is related civil construction activities, mainly.
Which sectors could be like more open for investment, like showing the potential for growth? Is it seen through these figures when you're looking at the economic growth?
So in manufacturing, namely metallurgical industry, especially steel, iron, and ferroalloys production. At the same time, production of mineral fertilizers, beverages, and some chemical products are noteworthy as well. Those products greatly contributed to the economic growth in 2021. In terms of transportation sector, I would like to highlight so both land and air transportation activities, but mainly freight transportation. Also, as you are aware, this sector is highly correlated with external trade statistics, you know. So in terms of wholesale and retail trade, trade turnover with motor car, I mean import and re-export of motor cars in different countries from Georgia. Also trade with petroleum products, pharmaceutical products is noteworthy. And also in terms of energy sector, growth was related mainly in production of electricity by hydropower plants. As you are aware, in December 2021, electricity generation increased by 55%. And by the way, consumption of electricity was increased as well by 27%.
What does this two-digit economic growth, considering everything that we have talked about, tell investors at this point? What is your take on that?
Actually, this is not typical question to Geostat. I think Ministry of Ministry of Economy or Ministry of Finance would provide more adequate and comprehensive answers. However, in my personal point of view, I think current economic growth figures and existing key macroeconomic indicators really gives more reason for interest and optimism in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.